just needed to have a little talk. I'm happy we got the win. I'm happy our defense, for the most part, was where it needed to be, and we made Southern Illinois take the shots that we wanted them to take. And we were obviously a little bit out of sync offensively for a good portion of the game. And we've got to find a way to get that swagger back. And, our message in the locker room is, we've got to find a way to capture the enthusiasm and the enjoyment with which these guys have played with each other in the past. And part of that's certainly the pressure of being on this team with the expectations that have been placed upon these guys throughout the season. That'll wear on you. That's human nature. I understand that. Part of it's the bumps and bruises that go with a long season. But we've got to find a way to find it. And as I told these guys, it's an unbelievable group to coach. If they have a fault, their fault is that they're too good of guys. And they probably don't demand as much of each other as they should demand of each other at times. And those attributes are going to get them a long ways in life. They're going to be really successful because of that. They're going to be great husbands. They're going to be great fathers. But it takes a little bit more to be a teammate sometimes. And that's what we're trying to capture. And I think we can get there. I really do. Obviously, I put a lot on Grant's shoulders. He's one of the better leaders I've ever coached. But he's also a really nice guy. And there's a few changes that have to be made if we want to win a championship. And it's still, championship still comes through Omaha. And we still can control our own destiny. And my hat goes off to Barry Hinson, the way he's continued to have this team compete. You look at their scores the last 5 games, nobody's beaten them by 14 points. So maybe we're a little bit more down than we should be. They've made everybody play like we played, including a 1-point loss at Indiana State right after Indiana State handled us. So I love my guys. I really do, and I want so much for them to achieve all their goals. But they're going to have to step out of their comfort zone a little bit if we're going to get there, and that's what we're going to try to accomplish in the next few days.
Questions for the student athletes?
Grant, can you talk a little bit about just the message after the game and what Coach was talking about now?
Yeah, I think just from the standpoint of us as players, we got to demand a little more of each other, and that's something we've always struggled with. But there's not a lot of time left to fix it, and I think each individual kind of understands that it's do or die as far as making those changes, and it's now or that moment's going to pass, and we're going to regret it forever. So I think each individual, myself especially, being the leader of this team, has got to demand a little more.
Grant, how comfortable with you with the pace of the game tonight? Is it what you guys wanted, or did you want to do some more things to try to speed them up?
We're always trying to speed it up and looking for every opportunity we can when teams are kind of trying to clunk it up against us. And I don't think we did a good enough job of that. And credit Southern on their game plan and kind of trying to slow it down. And then I think we just forced some things, and me especially, instead of kind of taking what the defense gives us. But Will really saved us with his energy off the bench, and it would have been a completely different game if he didn't play the way he did. So his contribution was huge.
Will, could you talk a little bit about that effort and just what you were trying to do out there?
I mean, the coaches have preached all year to the bench players about just being ready when your number's called. You never know what is gonna come or how many minutes you're gonna play or whatever it is. And that's the one thing I've tried to do, is not get down if I'm not playing a lot and not get too high if I'm playing a lot. And just whenever a coach calls my name, I've been trying to stay focused and just be ready for when he calls me.
Well, what do you feel like you bring to the table when you get in the game?
I mean, exactly what Grant said. I just try and bring as much energy as I can. I'm not the strongest guy, not the most athletic guy, and I just try and bring a lot of energy and just bring some new spark to the team basically, and just do whatever I can to help the team.
Could you feel kind of an energy in the building when you were doing what you were doing?
I guess a little.
It's got to be a good feeling to come off the floor and have everybody on their feet for you. I mean, just what What's that like as a player to be out there and see the support you're getting for a good performance?
Yeah, I mean, just in general, the support from the community to our team is great, and just, I mean, to hear that, it's always good.
Grant, how big is it? You know, you kind of touched on it before, but to have a guy come off the bench, 14 points, 6 to 6 shooting, I mean, how big is that?
Like I said, it was huge. It you know, kind of determined the game, in my opinion. I don't know, without his effort, how it would have turned out. And, you know, some guys struggling in kind of the flow of the game, and he took advantage of that moment, and we needed it. It was huge.
Grant, do you guys feel like, as a team, turnovers are more of a concern for you than earlier in the year? Or do you guys have answers for what the difference is right now?
You know, I think trying to force things, me especially, and, you know, we've kind of gotten away from making that extra pass for whatever reason. Some of it's the way teams are playing us, but, you know, the other end of it is kind of people trying to force their own action when, you know, our strength is playing off each other, making the extra pass and getting those great shots. And, you know, that's kind of been the story with us offensively lately. And it's just a mindset thing, you know, looking for your teammate and passing up good shots to get great shots. And that's always kind of been our thing. And, you know, we can get back to that easy. It's just a matter of changing your mindset.
Grant, how big is Saturday for this team?
It's a big game. There's no doubt about it. Really quality opponent going into a hostile environment. We're going to have to be ready to go, and these next couple of days of practice are going to be as big as any we've had all year. So it's a big game for our program and, you know, our season right now. We need this one.
2 more for the athletes.
Will, do you feel like a game like this on the road maybe is something that can kind of get that spark and get that swag back to you guys a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, like Grant said, it's going to be tough, and it's a big game for our team, and we just all have to come focused and ready to go.
Difference in Southern from the time you played them in late January to now?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that from an effort standpoint, obviously, and having early back makes them a different team, but, you know, they're playing a lot better basketball right now, attacking and playing that rugged defense. And like Coach Mack said, Coach Henson's doing a great job with that group, and they're playing, you know, they're a way better team than when we played them at their place.
All right. Thanks, Ben. We'll continue with head coach Greg McDermott. Questions?
Greg, how big was that effort from Will tonight?
Well, it was huge. He saved us. You know, he's so active, he's so long, and he's got a great feel. You know, he understands, you know, how to find openings on the court, and his teammates deliver it to him. So, you know, we needed him. As I said, we're a little bit banged up, and when you have that, you need your bench guys to step up, and Will really stepped up and gave us a big lift. I thought Ethan, even though he only hit one shot, I thought defensively he did some great things for us. Put out some fires and got back to his man and was solid on the backboards and blocking out. So and you know, Nevin hit some big shots as well and played some good defense. So we've got some good contributions from our bench tonight. You know, and that was a big difference in the game.
And those Southern Illinois second chance baskets, is that kind of a symptom of what you were talking about? They seem to get some pretty good offensive rebounding.
Well, you know, we forced them into some perimeter shots, and there were most of the offensive rebounds were long rebounds. And you know, with Southern Illinois, we're trying to plug it up and be in the paint. So when it takes some pretty good discipline to get back to 20 feet when the shot goes up, when you've been told to stay in the paint, plug things up. So you know, part of that is the ball bounces their way. They had 9 of them at halftime. They only had 4 the second half. So I thought we cleaned that up a little bit better in the second half. But you know, Southern Illinois, they're playing hard. It's hard to win in this league right now. Every game's a grind, and as much as I would have liked to have ran away from Southern Illinois, there aren't many teams doing that in our league right now to anybody else.
Grant was talking about making an extra pass. You guys balance getting back to that, but also staying aggressive, getting inside.
Some of it is how they're defending it. You know, Grant's a smart guy. He understands the game and he sees the game well. And you know, they're not allowing us to make that extra pass on some occasions. the pass to the post isn't there all the time, and maybe it isn't as easy as it was early in the year. So you might look 4 times and it might only be open once, where in December, you'd look 4 times and it was open 3 times. So you maybe give up on it a little bit too soon. And it's just a matter of being disciplined to stay with the play and understand what we're looking for. And, you know, these guys are trying, and I think in some ways they're trying too hard. And because of that, they're making some mistakes. And, you know, like I said, they're a joy to coach. They're a pleasure to be around. They really want this, and I think we can get back to it.
Given what you said in your opening statement, and given what you face this week on the road, I mean, what is your level of concern with the way that things are kind of timed out here?
Well, my concern is what St. Mary's is. You know, we're going to have to go in there and be a better team. I'm not sure individually, if you line us up 1 for 1, if we're better individually when you start comparing their starters and their bench. And but we have the capability of being a better team if we do what we need to do. And it's going to take a heck of an effort. They're outstanding at home. One of the best point guards in the country, and he's got the ball in his hands 98% of the time. So you've got to figure out a way to deal with him. And he's 6'4", so it's not like he's some little water bug running around. He's got size, he's got vision, and can really shoot the basketball. He makes all the right plays.
You guys did a better job slowing down Desmar Jackson tonight. What was the key there?
You know, I thought Johans worked hard on him. I thought Nevin, when he went in the game, made his looks tough. You know, we tried to take away the rhythm shot, make him put it on the floor, and shoot that in-between mid-range shot, which I don't think he's quite as good at when he has a little bit as compared to when he has a little bit of time. So, you know, defensively, our effort was fine. If you get rid of a few of those offensive rebounds that bounced their way and a couple that we didn't go get, you'd be talking about one of our better defensive efforts of the year. It's just, you know, Southern does such a good job of just grinding it out and making you play ugly basketball. You know, they did it to Evansville, they did it to Missouri State, they did it to Wichita, and they did it to Indiana State in the last 5 games. So part of it is who we played and how they're playing right now and what they're trying to do to take you out of your flow. They're doing a great job of it.
2 more for Coach.
Given where you are from what you talked about at the beginning, have you faced a situation like this before?
You know, I think I've had similar situations, maybe not to the level as we're facing with this group, just because they want what every one of our fans wants. They want to win every game. They want it to be easy. Unfortunately, our opponents aren't going to cooperate. So, you know, like I said, Piv, I think in trying to do right, and trying so hard to do right, in some ways we've become someone that we're not, and that's what we have got to evaluate on film and try to change. But their intentions are accurate. Inherently, we don't have one selfish guy on this team, but at times some of our plays appear to be selfish, even though that isn't the intent. I know that sounds strange, and but it's accurate. And those are the things that we need to fix, and it's my responsibility as a head coach and our job as a coaching staff to help our guys kind of tread through this.
Is that up and down the lineup?
You know, I think. I mean, the reality of it is we're all a little bit selfish, each and every one of us. The guy sitting up here and every one of you sitting there. I think it's human nature to want to do well and to want to be a big part of what's going on, and it's just you know, making sure that the role that you play is the role that your team needs you to play, and that you're putting in the time so that when you're asked to play that role, that you can play it to your fullest potential. And it can be difficult, as I said, when you get late in the season and you've got the aches and pains that we're dealing with right now. But we've got tomorrow off. You know, maybe the snowstorm will cancel school Thursday, and they can lay around all day Thursday too. But we need a couple good practices Thursday, Friday, then we'll head to California. put our best foot forward.
All right.